Aloha everybody, welcome to the final part of Sonic Pocket Adventure. Before we move on to the final boss of the game, I did want to show off the puzzle room just for a brief second. Once again, I mentioned that the yellow trophies I was picking up in the levels were puzzle pieces, and that you can actually make the puzzle pieces into actual pictures, and therefore you have some nice little art of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Eggman, and the rest of the gang. And, it doesn't really unlock anything but a sound test, and I think it unlocks the ability to do something with special stages. I don't know. It doesn't matter either way. I'm not going to be looking for all the puzzle pieces. I sure as hell don't know where all of them are, and I've never been arsed to find them all. But whatever. The game also has multiplayer, but you need a cable link to do so, and I think that's the only time you can actually play as Tails without doing a debug mode. Debug mode does not mean a playable character is Tails, by the way. But anywho, folks, time for last Utopia zone. Dr. Eggman has run ahead of Sonic because he's the fastest thing alive. And he's using the Chaos Emerald he stole from Knuckles to power his latest Eggmobile. So this machine's pretty hands-on. Not only do I love the fact that this Eggmobile thrashes Sonic around, it grabs him like a fucking monster of vengeance and smashes him across the deck, but when Eggman does it, he has this look on his face that's so, like, classic. It's like one of the best Eggman faces ever. He's just like, "Oh, did I do that?" "Oh, looks like I'm killing Sonic!" In truth, Dr. Eggman's really not that bad here, though. As long as you keep running into your rings after you keep getting hit, and you're gonna get hit a lot, unless you practice it, it's really not that bad. When Dr. Eggman tries to escape, you can jump into his Eggmobile and bring him down, just like we did in the original Sonic the Hedgehog. And with that, the entire base explodes, and Dr. Eggman's plans have been foiled again. Jesus Christ! Dr. Eggman's aero base really blew the shit out of something, didn't it? Could you imagine if there was a civilization underneath that thing? Holy Christ! If there is, they're dead now. And that's your little wind post thing. I skipped the credits because, there's actually more to this game. I'm not really showing you the proper best ending. Get more Chaos Emerald! Now folks, last Utopia zone has a different level after it if you do the correct things. And not only do you have to get all 6 Chaos Emeralds in each of the zones, you actually have to knock the Chaos Emerald out of the Eggmobile before you defeat Dr. Eggman, and you have to collect the last Chaos Emerald too. You saw in the earlier run, I actually knocked the Emerald out, but I didn't catch the Emerald. So because I didn't catch the Emerald, I actually got the normal ending of the game and not the best ending or the extra level. So what you want to do is, you need the 6 Chaos Emeralds from each zone, and you need to knock the Emerald out of the Eggmobile, and how you do so is by jumping on it more than you jump on Eggman. If you accidentally kill Eggman before the Emerald pops out, and before you collect the Emerald, well, you're not going to get the special last level that only characters with 7 Chaos Emeralds can observe. But if you have collected the Chaos Emerald and you defeat Dr. Eggman, when he escapes this time, you're going to try and knock him into oblivion, and the game stops you from doing so. Dr. Eggman manages to escape. Well, we got all 7 Chaos Emeralds. You know what that means. Super Sonic time! Oh god, oh god. You won't kill me in this thing, even though you did in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So it's time for Chaotic Space Zone, which has Sky Sanctuary's music for some reason. This time around, you're not actually running into the giant Eggman robots like you did in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The strategy this time around is that Eggman is constantly shooting missiles at you. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use your dash attack, which you use by activating the jump button while moving in a certain direction. And what you want to do is you want to dash into a missile full on, and it should send the missile in any direction that you dashed it from. And what you're trying to do is dash the missiles back into Eggman, but as you can see, it's kind of a little bit tricky because the way his body dips up and down, sometimes when you hit the missile, he'll hover above it or hover below it, and it's a little bit of a patience game. You gotta keep collecting rings after all. If you lose all your rings, Sonic will go back to normal, and then he'll fall to his death. So while you're chasing Eggman, while you're ricocheting these missiles back at him, make sure to keep an eye on your ring count, why not? Now I'm starting to get the hang of it, though. At first I was having a real hard time knocking those missiles back into him. But once I got into the mojo of things, I was like, oh yeah, I got Eggman's number. I got Eggman's number, indeed. But it is a unique supersonic fight. We never had to knock missiles back at Eggman back in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We had homing missiles follow us, and then we led the missiles to Eggman. But this time around, we're sending the missiles back full force, and it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. There could be more to this boss fight. This literally is it, but I can't complain too much, though. Sonic Pocket Adventure is a fantastic game. A fantastic game. Come on, Eggman. My ring count ain't getting any higher. And booyah. No, please. I should give up. Please forgive me. Oh, God. I tried to be Dr. Wily. It didn't work. Ah! Well, folks, that's it for Sonic Pocket Adventure. That is the last level that you get for collecting all of the Chaos Emeralds. And we actually get a different ending. We don't actually see the Aero Base explode into the grassy field like we did in the normal ending. Which is weird. You'd think that would be part of it, but nope, that's not part of the best ending in the game. No, instead, like Sonic the Hedgehog 1, all the Chaos Emeralds seem to bring happiness and joy, and flowers are blooming again, and everything's all hunky-dory back in the world. Knuckles is holding an emerald? Was that the Master Emerald, or was that a Chaos Emerald that Sonic flinged out there? I don't know. Either way, that's Sonic Pocket Adventure. It's probably the last thing we got to a classic Sonic game, aside from, obviously, Sonic Generations, which comes out tomorrow, and I'm going to be getting that, by the way. So don't expect to see a new video from me in a while, but I digress. So Sonic Pocket Adventure is a pretty fantastic game. I will admit, though, it's not the most memorable game in the series, and if you had a Neo Geo Pocket Color and you owned this game, well, of course it was awesome, it was great, it was fantastic, but, you know, it doesn't beat the Genesis games. It doesn't really stand out because it reuses themes and music that were in the Genesis games. It's really just a nice game to have on the go. If you had the Neo Geo Pocket Color, you could bring a Sonic game on the go back in 1999. So if you were on the bus waiting to go to school, you could play Neo Geo Pocket Color and spin dash to your heart's content with Sonic Pocket Adventure. It's not the best Sonic game in the world. It really isn't a memorable one. I don't really come back to play this all that much, but, you know, it still got the job done. It still was a fantastic game with great physics, great music, great level design. Everything about this game works, and it works well. So yeah, that's Sonic Pocket Adventure. Anywho, folks, now the next game you should be looking out for is a look at Sonic Shuffle for the Sega Dreamcast. When I come back, that shall be the next Sonic game we look at. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, folks. I am the Great Clement. Toodles. Son of a bitch! Note to self, fly your egg robot into a place in outer space which does not have rings.